Okay, Dan, here's your video from last night. Good job. Nice improvements with the lower body. Still work on, using your lower body explosively all week long. Do something every day or at least 3 times a week. You can do some lunges. You can even do lunges with weights on with dumbbells or a barbell on your back. You can even do the hold the dumbbells or hold a barbell and shrug your shoulders and just go up on your toes. Do 3 sets of 10 of those. If you don't know what those look like, I'll show you next week. So, with your body structure, with a thick structure like yourself, you don't have to worry about building so much speed, but because you're going to be utilizing ground forces longer, you need the ground forces. I put you up here with Colin, just to show you some of the things that you're doing with your arm, and you can watch him and see what it means to keep the hand, in a larger angle. Like your arm should be somewhere within 90 to 100 degrees, and yours is just a little too flexed. So the point being is that when you flex too soon here, it just takes you a longer time to get externally rotated. So you're putting a lot of load on the elbow, and then you're expecting the elbow really the arm has to overcompensate because the body's not moving fast enough, so it doesn't lay the arm back quick enough. I'll tell you what that means as we go along here. But good job with the lower body. So remember, do some of these power exercises. Grab a dumbbell, grab a couple dumbbells. Obviously, make sure they're evenly weighted so that you can use both arms. Do some lunges. Hold the dumbbells at your side. Do shoulder shrugs, and as you shoulder shrug, you just jump up on your toes. You pop up on your toes to activate, the calf muscle and that extension of the ankle. Because when you get into front foot plant here, you're still just a little bit too far down here with the foot. I mean, we really want to see you up here as you're landing your front foot, and even if you can get better, maybe even a little bit off the rubber, up in this position as you're touching down. So you're already down in this picture. So anyhow, just keep working on it. It's getting better. Look at how much longer your stride is and your angle. Let's go from here to your front hip. Let's pull this down a little bit. No, it's a little bit more than 30 degrees. It's 31 degrees, which isn't too bad. So you're getting your stride longer. It's not even that much different than Colin's. I think Colin might be a little bit lower. Let's see, where's his front hip at? Right about there. 28 degrees to 31. So your stride lengths aren't that much different. He's a little longer. He's also, he's got a different body build, so he's going to depend more on speed of the movements to convert some power from the ground, and you're going to convert more on, ground forces and the structure of your body to deliver your arm. But so let's continue out here. Another thing we want to work on before we talk about the upper body is make sure that, the whole point of getting this longer stride is so that we can convert energy from the ground here at the front foot and up. So if our knee is too far tucked under our heel, or if our heel is too far tucked under our knee, then we stand too vertical. And if we stand too vertical, the back leg pops off the ground pretty quickly, and we don't get that conversion of force. We have to get this knee to, or even if we can, we got to get this foot to extend out further so that we have a longer angle. Let's take a look at our angle here. Yeah, 73. I want to get that angle down to about, somewhere in the low 60s. It's just something that we can work on. It's a target we can shoot for. But see how you're a little too vertical there on that knee to ankle? The more linear you are, the quicker you're going to be able to convert these forces up the ground, up into your front hip, which will stop the hip complex, the lumbar hip complex, and it will really start to thrust your chest out over your knee. Okay? So keep working on leg power, explosive movements. Do some of those explosive movements that you are working on at the school there with the instructor, and see if you can incorporate some of the dumbbell or barbell where you just hold it straight down and you shrug your shoulders and you pop up on your toes. And I'll show you how to do that in the next class. But here's what I want to see. I want to compare this to you with Colin. All right, so I want to get you a touchdown. Let's get Colin a touchdown right about here. Okay, take a look at the angle of the arm. Now, I like your hand actually down in this position. Colin is up. He usually gets up a little too early. But his hand, you know, his arm angle is good. It's about probably 100 degrees, maybe a little less. But notice the distance that his hand is from his head. I mean, you don't want to be necessarily that far, but I just wanted to compare it with yours. So take a look as you start to rotate your shoulders. As you start right here to push down and rotate the shoulders, I want to put a clock on you just to show how much time it takes for you to get from this position here to full external rotation. Okay, about 1/10 of a second. Let's see how long it takes Colin to get there. Okay, about 5/10, maybe, yeah, about 5/10, maybe 6/10 of a second. I mean 6/100 of a second. So notice that your elbow, it took you, because your hand was lower, first of all, it's going to take you longer. But because your hand was so close to your head, it even gave you more time to get that, or too much time to get the arm to lay back. So your elbow is out in front of your face, and look at where Colin's is. So Colin is still pulling his arm through with his chest, even though he doesn't get full external rotation. He doesn't have the power coming up from the front here yet, so his arm isn't really receiving the load. You even have a little bit more of an arm layback. The problem is that your elbow is way out in front of your face, and his elbow is still being pulled by his upper body. Okay, so so it took you, what, 1/10 of a second to get from here, where you've put down, to rotate the shoulders. It took Colin 5/10 of a second, and his elbow is still behind his face, and it's behind his chest, where yours is coming out too far. Partly because also, you know, if his rotation is faster, it's going to thrust his chest out. So his rotation, the rotational aspects are a little faster because he was able to generate more power from the legs. And he's able to get his chest out a little bit more than yours, so his elbow is in a safer place. Now, let's see where your arm goes from here. I want to take a look at your elbow. Does your elbow, you see how low your elbow is in relationship to your ear? So there's your ear, there's your elbow. Let's watch how low that elbow stays. And it even looks like it comes down. It does stop, which is good. It stops moving, and it acts as a fulcrum, and it sends your hand into internal rotation there. But look at how much further out in front of your face you are, and how much lower your elbow is than Colin's. So there's Colin's elbow, and Colin's elbow continues to rise up to ear level because he gets a little bit of some trunk tilt, where you're still kind of straight up and down. You're just kind of rotating, but you're not getting a trunk tilt down this way. Like your glove arm shoulder is parallel to your throwing shoulder. And we want to see more of a tilt there so that that arm can reach up. But it's difficult to get that when you rotate so late and you pull the arm through. So this is going to strain the elbow. If you feel some pain, this is why you're feeling some pain. It's not, you know, it's not going to damage you unless you continue to do this for a long time. But if there's discomfort, it's because you're using your body better. Your lower body is producing more power than you probably ever pitched with because of the leg drive and the extended stride you have now. So that's going to add more stress to the arm if the arm isn't in a good spot. So boom, everything is getting more stress now. You're adding more load to the arm, and it's just in a pretty tough place to take the load and to deliver the arm speed that it's moving at now, which might be a little faster than it was before you saw me. So we need to get this arm, this hand, out here in this position where Colin's is. Okay, this hand should be somewhere up there. So you need to practice this week avoiding pulling that elbow or pulling that hand in and crunching your arm in such a small little angle there. Let's work on getting away from the head and keeping the arm away. A drill you can do is just to start with your hand. Instead of starting in this position with your hands together, you can start with your glove hand up and your hand straight down here. So you're actually starting with your hands separated and with your glove hand up in position and just getting used to, letting the arm straighten out, then lifting the arm up, and then turning the body without even throwing the ball and just seeing where that hand is in relation to the head. And if you do that enough, you'll start to break this habit of pulling that hand in. And when we speed up, we get more power from these legs. That will help even more because you'll be ready to rotate the body with more speed, which will throw the arm back quicker. The problem here is, again, just getting too close to the head. It takes too long to get here, which means now it's going to take too long to get here. If it's too late to lay back, then it's too late to come forward. So you want to start throwing the ball right here. So Colin starts internally rotating here, and you're starting to come up. Here's where your hand starts to come forward. And Colin's hand is coming forward here. All right, it doesn't look like it's that much of a difference, but I'll tell you, these small differences make a big difference when you're feeling the arm throw the ball. Okay, so keep working on leg power, leg speed, and see if you can do this drill this week where you just start with your hands separated and this arm just kind of hangs down lower, and then you kick out and you lift the hand, okay, and you stop in this position and then just rotate the body, kick the foot forward, rotate the body, and keep that hand away from the head. All right, it's just a motor skill. You'll just have to get used to doing it. All right, and that'll let your arm roll back better. It'll find its place. You'll be able to turn the body, and it'll follow your chest a lot better. In this position here, it's just kind of riding along with the chest at the same time. It's not really following the chest. It's just with the chest. You want the chest to pop out and the arm to lay back. All right? Hope that helps you out. Keep working. I'll see you next week.